Okay, we talked about porting and flowing the heads. Justin, how exactly do you do that? I know you've got some really trick tools here, something that measures the flow. How do you determine what that is?
Well, we use the SuperFlow 1020 flow bench. Some of the techniques that we use, of course, just the standard basics of a flow bench is basically it'll pull a vacuum at a certain pressure, and we use inches of water. We generally flow at 28 inches of water. It's kind of an industry standard. But we just hold the valve open with some special springs here that are lightweight, and we of course can open the valve to a precise measurement, and then of course the flow bench maintains that pressure, and then it measures the CFM through the valve and into the bench. So that's for CFM flow, but when it comes to velocity, what we use is a little device called a pitot tube. And what this device does is it measures the velocity past the tube, and what we can do is go in the port and see where our velocity is the fastest and the slowest, and work on improving that by changing the shapes around the measurement. So those are some of the things that we use, I guess, to develop a port and try and optimize it for the best flow and velocity.
Okay, when Justin is done downstairs with the SuperFlow, it comes upstairs to Kayle. What they do is they digitize, the port shape and everything, which is the key to making that CNC porting the same for every twin cam head that comes out of S&S. Kayle, tell us a little bit about the process and how you do it.
Well, Wally, the first thing we do as soon as it gets done off the SuperFlow bench is we bring it over here, and we can actually create what Justin's created on the SuperFlow bench. We can go from the hand port to actually putting the port in the electronic world and get it down to the guys downstairs for manufacturing. Initially what we do is we bring it over here, put it on our surface plate, and we're actually able to rotate this surface plate, and it works off an axis system, so the computer always knows where it's working, and this probe reaches inside each port, and it's actually capable of recreating that port shape. As soon as it creates that port shape, it brings a image up on the screen, and we're able to create an actual CAD model of each individual port and then send it downstairs.
Okay, so when you send it downstairs, what happens is it's plugged into the CNC machine, and that duplicates everything that's going on. So the consistency is there every time, which is real important. Now, you touched on something earlier, and we were talking about if you have a custom set of heads that you want to duplicate. Say you've been running the same heads for the last 20 years and you really like the port job that's in them, but you're getting a new bike and you want the same heads, you have the ability to take that old port design, a customer can send their heads in and you guys can duplicate it the same way, correct?
That's absolutely correct. If you've had the same port for years, you can actually send it to us, and we're capable of taking that port and putting it on this digitizer machine, and we can create that port, and that way it cuts down on the shop time for you, where if you want to spend 6 hours grinding every day, where you can send it to us and we can actually port that shape for you and make the job a lot easier for you.
Yeah, one of the things that I really think is a benefit to it is the fact that when you hand port it, you never ever are going to get it exactly the same, but when you go to a CNC and a digitizing here, it duplicates it exactly. So if you have an S&S head, if you have a stock head, you can send it in here and make sure that your port job is exactly the way you want it, and that's what makes power.